What if I told you that the nightmares you thought were finally over were actually only just the beginning? What if the very things designed to bring joy, entertainment, and a sense of safety to innocent children were actually the exact things hunting you down in the darkest hours of the night? Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving deep into a movie that has completely shattered the global box office, terrified audiences across the world, and proved once again that video game adaptations can be absolute cinematic masterpieces. I am talking, of course, about the highly anticipated, intensely terrifying, and mind-bending Five Nights at Freddy's 2. If you thought the first movie was a wild, scary ride, you seriously need to buckle up. Because the sequel takes everything we loved, cranks up the tension to an absolute 10, and introduces a whole new level of psychological terror that will have you checking the dark corners of your room before you go to sleep. But before we get into the dark, twisted secrets and hidden lore hiding inside the walls of the brand new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, I need to ask you a quick question. Out of the massive, growing roster of characters, who is your absolute favourite animatronic from the entire FNAF universe? Is it the classic Freddy, the unpredictable Foxy, the terrifying puppet, or maybe one of the incredibly disturbing new faces we see in this movie? Drop your answers in the comments down below right now, because I am going through them and I want to see who the hardcore Day One fans really are. And hey, if you love deep dive movie reviews, discovering hidden Easter eggs and keeping up with the biggest blockbuster hits, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and absolutely smash the like button. It really helps the channel out, pushes the algorithm, and makes sure you never miss a video. Have you done it? Are you subscribed? Awesome. Let's step into the nightmare. The movie kicks off with a massive, highly publicized grand reopening. The vintage, rotting, abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza from the first film has been completely rebranded, rebuilt from the ground up, and heavily upgraded by Fazbear Entertainment. The aesthetic is incredibly vibrant, perfectly capturing that peak 1980s retro arcade nostalgia. This specific 80s neon vibe is something that audiences in the US, Canada, London, and Australia have absolutely been eating up recently, and the director nails it perfectly. The flickering neon lights, the classic checkered floors, the ugly arcade carpets, and the smell of cheap pizza. It all feels so terrifyingly real, which makes the horror that follows even more impactful. We are immediately introduced to the toy animatronics, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and of course, the incredibly disturbing, spider-like mess of broken wires known as Mangle. On the surface, these new machines are shiny, friendly, and supposedly equipped with state-of-the-art facial recognition software. The company proudly claims they are tied directly to local criminal databases to protect the children. They are supposed to be the safest, most advanced animatronics ever built. But as we all know, in the twisted universe of Five Nights at Freddy's, nothing is ever safe. Security is just a deadly illusion. Enter our new protagonist, Jeremy Fitzgerald, who bravely, or perhaps foolishly, takes the night shift. At first glance, his job seems like a breeze compared to the absolute hell that Mike Schmidt went through. The new security office is much bigger, the lights are brighter, and there is a full sense of control. But there is one massive, terrifying change that changes the entire game. Jeremy does not have those giant steel doors to protect him. The director strips away your only defense mechanism. Instead of locking doors and hiding, Jeremy is given just two things to survive: a flashlight that constantly drains its battery, and a hollowed-out, empty Freddy Fazbear head. The tension in the theatre during the mask scenes is absolutely unbelievable. The filmmakers managed to translate the pure, sweaty stress of the video game into pure cinematic anxiety. There is a specific, agonizingly long scene where a massive, robotic killer leans just inches from Jeremy's face. You are literally holding your breath along with him in the dark theatre. The animatronic's glowing eyes scan the mask, the heavy mechanical whirring fills the room, and you are just waiting for the system to decide if Jeremy is a fellow animatronic or a human target. It is pure, unadulterated suspense that keeps your heart pounding aggressively against your chest. But the shiny new toy animatronics aren't the only things lurking in the shadows of this pizzeria. The movie takes a very dark, incredibly gritty turn when we are taken down into the dusty, forgotten parts and service room. Here lie the original crew, the withered animatronics. Seeing withered Bonnie missing his entire face, staring blindly into the camera with glowing red dots, or withered Chica with her jaw locked violently open on the massive cinema screen, is pure nightmare fuel. The CGI combined with practical physical effects by the team at Blumhouse is legitimately award-worthy. The physical weight of these massive, broken machines makes every single step they take echo heavily through the theatre. When withered Foxy lunges out of the darkness down the main hallway You can physically feel the entire audience jump. And just when you think Jeremy has a handle on the situation, the movie introduces a psychological menace, Balloon Boy. He doesn't attack you directly, but hearing his creepy, echoing laughter traveling through the air vents is a death sentence. In the movie, his presence means your flashlight is dead, leaving you in complete darkness with Foxy waiting at the end of the hall. The way the director builds dread around a character that doesn't even jump scare you is a masterclass in horror building. As the nights progress from Night 1 to the dreaded, chaotic Night 5, the facial recognition of the toy animatronics begins to severely glitch. They start acting strangely aggressive towards the adult staff, staring blankly and menacingly, while remaining perfectly normal around the daytime children. This is where the movie brilliantly weaves in the deep lore. We start seeing visual representations of the iconic 8-bit death minigames from the original game. There are flashbacks, distorted camera feeds, and whispers of the tragic past, the missing children incident, and the dark, vengeful souls trapped within these metal suits. We see the looming, terrifying shadow of William Afton, the purple guy, manipulating things from behind the scenes. The movie heavily teases the infamous bite of 87, keeping the audience on the absolute edge of their seats, wondering who the victim will be. But the absolute show stealer of the entire film, the character that had theaters dead silent across the globe, is the puppet. Also known as the marionette, the movie handles the music box mechanic flawlessly. Throughout the entire film, there is this underlying, stressful anxiety that the music box in the prize corner is winding down. And when that haunting, creepy melody finally stops, the absolute silence that follows is deafening. The introduction of the puppet is shot like a classic, high-tier horror masterpiece. It leans heavily into psychological dread and atmospheric horror rather than relying on cheap, loud jump scares. You know it's coming, you know it's angry, but you can't do anything to stop it. The lore drop revealing the puppet's true identity and its mission to give life to the other animatronics is one of the most emotional and horrifying moments in gaming history, and it translates perfectly to the big screen. Now let's talk about the box office numbers for a second, because they are absolutely staggering. FNAF 2 has completely dominated the cinematic charts in the USA, Australia, Singapore, Canada, and the UK. We are talking hundreds of millions of dollars globally within just the first few weeks of release. But why? Why are these Tier 1 countries absolutely obsessed with this movie? Why is it trending on every single platform? It comes down to a perfect storm of three things: massive childhood nostalgia, a fiercely dedicated global community, and perfectly crafted cinematic suspense. For over a decade, millions of fans in North America, Europe, and Oceania grew up playing these exact games in their dark bedrooms. They watched legendary creators like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye scream at their monitors, and they spent countless hours dissecting MatPat's complex, hour-long lore videos on YouTube. This movie isn't just a regular horror film, it is a massive cultural event. The filmmakers genuinely respected the intelligence of the audience. They didn't dumb the story down for casual mainstream viewers. Instead, they packed the background of almost every single scene with incredible Easter eggs, secret messages, hidden shadows like Shadow Bonnie, and subtle nods that only true, long-time fans would catch. This insane level of detail creates a massive rewatch value. People aren't just going to the theaters once. They are buying tickets 2, 3, or even 4 times just to freeze-frame the background and find every single hidden detail they missed the first time. The final act of the movie is an absolute adrenaline rush. Without spoiling the very final twist for the 2 people left on Earth who haven't seen it yet, I will just say this. The chaotic collision between the malfunctioning toy animatronics, the aggressive withered animatronics, and Jeremy's desperate, bloody, exhausting fight for survival is masterfully directed. We finally get to see the terrifying, claustrophobic reality of what a night guard truly has to endure when the 6 a.m. chime feels like it is a whole lifetime away. The packing is relentless, the lighting is terrifying, and the payoff is incredibly satisfying. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 does exactly what a perfect horror sequel should do. It expands the universe, heavily increases the stakes, answers old questions while asking new ones, and delivers unforgettable scares that will stay with you long after you leave the theater and turn off the lights in your own home. It is a beautiful, terrifying love letter to the gaming community and a masterclass in modern psychological horror cinema. So what did you guys think of the ending? Did it live up to your massive expectations, or were you hoping to see more of a specific character? Do you think we are going to see the origins of Springtrap in the next movie, or will they take it in a different direction? Let's get a massive debate going in the comments section down below right now. I will be reading and replying to as many of your theories as I can. If you enjoyed this deep dive review and want me to completely break down all the hidden Easter eggs, secret messages, and hidden lore in the movie for my next video, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with a friend who is way too scared to watch the movie alone. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, keep your flashlights fully charged, don't let the music box stop. And remember, they are always watching. See you in the next one.